Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports Outside the Box. It's episode 94 today, and today we're going to talk about the new look Clippers. I have three teams for you. I think they can beat them, even with the acquired Marcus Morris. Also, I want to talk about the Rockets. Can they keep up this style of play with the small ball act? We saw the Warriors did it before, but can the Rockets do it? We'll also talk about the NCAA action, Maryland versus Illinois tonight, give you a little preview of that, and give you my top 5 news stories of the day. But come on in. Stick along for the ride. This is Sports Outside the Box.
Sport left wide open, had to kick it out. Picked off. Here's Bradley ahead of the field. Here's James on the Westbrook accelerates and scores. Puts it.
How y'all doing, man? This is sick. This is sick. This is a movie to me. I appreciate y'all for sure.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports Outside the Box. It's episode 94 today. And today I'm going to open up this podcast doing something a little bit different. Since it's episode 94, I'm going to do what happened in 1994. And the reason I'm even doing this, I was listening to a podcast called Balls Don't Lie. It's a sports podcast as well. And they were talking about, they opened up their, I think it was like their latest podcast, I believe, but they were talking about we're people too. We don't just do sports. We also have lives and like to talk about different things. So, of course, I know this, and it's like I hear people do it on the radio, talk about food, talking about movies they've seen, talking about cookouts they're going to, talking about all that, all those different types of things. So I was like, you know what? I kind of got to incorporate that too. Like, just listen to a sports show and literally listen to somebody ramble on about sports isn't always interesting. You gotta make time for the, gotta have a good medium. You gotta balance. I'm a Libra, so 10-10. It's a balance going on here. But so I want to like something that I love. I love history. I don't know if anybody else loves history out there, but to open up the podcast, I want to do what happened in 1994 since it's the 94th episode. So what happened in 1994? One thing, O.J. Simpson happened in 1994 in that white Bronco. So that's something that happened in 1994. That's not a big plus. My sister was born in 1994, so that's a big plus. That's 1-1 right there. Justin Bieber born in 1994. I think it's safe to say we're back down to 1-2. We're losing 1994 right now. Something else that happened in 1994. Doug came out, the cartoon series for Nickelodeon that came out. So we're 2-2. Also, Friends came out, that 3-2. Spider-Man, the animated series, came out 4-2. And what blows 1994 out of the water 100% completely? PlayStation comes out in 1994. So, boom! There you go. 1994, it's a win for me. PlayStation, they get it. But I hope everybody's out there. I hope you're having a great Thursday. That was a Friday. Oh my goodness. I hope everybody's having a great Friday. Trying to incorporate new things, forgetting what day it is. But I hope everybody's having a great Friday. My day's been pretty good so far. I've just been in here writing. If everybody sees me on YouTube, I need to go get a haircut because I'm looking a little scruffy a little bit. But don't worry, that's going to happen either today or tomorrow morning. If I come back on here tomorrow, you ain't going to see me looking like this. I'm going to look a little different. But some things I want to talk about today, of course, can the Rockets win consistently playing small ball? That's the first thing I want to talk about. We're also going to talk about, can anybody beat the new and improved Clippers roster? And of course, they got the coaching on their side, they got the players on their side, but is there anybody that can actually beat them? We're also going to go over some, of course, sports news, I'm going to actually do a sports preview for a game that's coming, for a couple games coming on tonight in the college world. And last but not least, I got to do, we're going to talk about some college games that happened yesterday, and I think a couple NBA games that happened yesterday. So that's what we're going to do. Trying to put some more, some structure in here, but still trying to have fun at the same time. So the first question of the day, can the Rockets win consistently at small ball? And if anybody saw the game last night, I think it's safe to say that they can win small ball. And I don't think that anybody should honestly be shocked as we're seeing them win. They beat the Los Angeles Lakers, and Mike D'Antoni even admitted this is going to be one of the hardest challenges. And he said that he was excited and scared at the same time because, of course, you just traded away Clint Capella. Who's going to be in the lane? Who's going to be grabbing the rebounds? And if you look at the stats last night, rebounding purposes or rebounding wise, they didn't do that bad. It was pretty solid on the board. I think they only got out-rebounded by one rebound. But the Rockets were hitting their shots, and the offense that they're going to have to play now with no pick and roll offense because, there's no Clint Capella, there's no real big man in there. The biggest man on the team, well, it's still Tyson Chandler, but for people that are playing is Robert Covington. And Robert Covington 6'7". They had PJ Tucker playing the center position last night going against Anthony Davis, 6'5", going against a 7-footer. So it wasn't too good of a look, and then it was worrisome because PJ Tucker had 5 fouls, and it was like in the fourth quarter. So now I'm sitting here like, oh my goodness, he's going to get his 6th foul. Who's going to be playing this position? Who's going to be playing the center position? It's going to be Robert Covington. Robert Covington's out here balling tonight. It was a lot going on. But can they consistently win? So, point guard position, Russell Westbrook, right? 6'3". James Harden, we have a 6'5". We have Daniel House Jr., who's now starting. And I found out last night that him and Alex Caruso, they were playing against each other last night, played at the same high school. He's 6'6". And then Robert Covington, 6'7". Probably will start, get the power forward position. And PJ Tucker, 6'5". So that's a pretty small lineup. And the first half in this game, it was 20 the first half points in the paint. The Rockets had 26, the Lakers had 38. And as to be expected, you did not expect the Rockets to sit there and consistently try to go into the paint when you're sitting there looking at guys like Dwight Howard, who barely played last night, which was kind of upsetting. JaVale McGee, Anthony Davis. You got these big guys down low. And there was also times in this game where we actually saw Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Eric Gordon drive down low, and all of a sudden you see the towers come up, and then what happens? They try to kick the ball out. They didn't look like they didn't know where to go because all of a sudden everybody's bunched in the middle. But the smart thing that they did, they had Mike D'Antoni. And Mike D'Antoni, man, great offensive mind, great coach. This man already knew what was going to happen. We're going to space everybody out. We're going to space them out, and then we're going to make them play us individually. Because now it's like, oh, Russell Westbrook going against JaVale McGee, Eric Gordon going against JaVale McGee. You're just looking for the switch. And when you don't have big men that can guard, and that's something that also happened back in 2015, 2016 with the Warriors before KD got there when they won the title. Before that happened, we saw Steph Curry, we saw Klay Thompson, Iggy, Maurice Spates, and Harrison Barnes. So I'm like, they have, I think Maurice Spates is only 6'8". So that was a small ball lineup for them. And of course, why did it work? They were going against people like OKC. They were going against people like the Rockets. They were the Spurs. And the Spurs got Tim Duncan. That's kind of hard. And then at the time, the Rockets had Dwight Howard. That's kind of hard to do too. And so I'm like, Dwight Howard has to go out here and check Steph Curry. Dwight Howard has to go out here and check Klay Thompson. Out here checking Harrison Barnes. Out here checking Maurice Spates and all these are 3-point shooters. So that's where the problem lies at, right there. So now yesterday, Anthony Davis is a great big man, a great perimeter defender for a big man. But it's like when you just constantly want him to keep stepping out, all of a sudden, like we saw big dunks from Russell Westbrook last night, who had a phenomenal game yesterday. James Harden did not play that well, but Russell Westbrook led the team. He did what he needed to do. And if you just want to talk about that, talk about the performance from yesterday, then yes, I think the small ball can win. And it's not because like we're shocked with I'm shocked because I'm seeing a small ball team. That's not it. I'm shocked because these are things that we typically see in playoff time. The things we usually see at the end of the season. Teams are trying to figure out what they can do in playoff time, figure out what they can do to, try to throw somebody off their game. Not something we typically see before the All-Star break, and a team like willing to try to play through it for the remainder of the season. Not something you typically see. So that's why I feel like everybody's in an uproar right now. We've constantly seen small ball. We've seen it plenty of times. The Rockets have done it before. The Warriors have done it before. The Spurs have tried to do it to combat the Golden State Warriors. But the thing is, now when you're sitting here looking at it, you're like, it's before the All-Star break. Can they keep up this consistent level of play? Will people get used to it? Will people figure it out? Will it hurt them in the long run? That's the questions you're trying to figure out now. Frank Vogel last night, they were asking, like, how do you stop the Rockets? And he was like, I don't know. They're spacing us out. We try to double team. When we double team, they make us pay. And they sure were making the pay. It wasn't James Harden. James Harden, 14 points last night. Third lowest point total of the season for him. He wasn't the one making them pay. Russell Westbrook was making them pay. Oh, you want to double up Russ? Russell six made mid-range jumpers. He was the only Rocket that took a mid-range jumper last night, but he made 6 of them. He looked great. I think he had 41 points. Yeah, I was like, man, Russell Westbrook is on a tear right now. Nobody can stop him. Then Chris Webber's like, he's like, Russell Westbrook's talking about, forget what the scouting report says. I can shoot tonight. I can shoot tonight. And Chris Webber was also like, just had questions about it, about the consistency and can I keep up this level of play, the style of play for that matter. And something else they asked Mike D'Antoni, what's the best lineup you've ever seen? And he said the death lineup. And what was the death lineup? Iggy, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant. Even though Kevin Durant isn't, he's like 6'10", so I'm like, he is a big guy, but it's still a small ball lineup. And the fact that these small ball lineups have success, we should not be shocked if the Rockets somehow find a way to have success in upcoming games. I know they're playing the Jazz twice. I know they got played the Suns tonight. They have a couple other tough games where they have opponents looking a little lengthy. So we're gonna have to see what happens with them. Oh, and I forgot to mention, of course, Draymond Green was on that small ball lineup and the death lineup. I can't forget about my man Draymond Green. People be like, man, you look like Draymond Green a little bit. But these are some teams like I wanted to get into that they played against. So that small ball lineup, the death lineup, had to play against. So they had to go against, like I said, Dwight Howard, Clint Capella. That was the first round with the Rockets. They had to go against Mason Plumlee. They had to go against the conference final, going against Kevin Durant and Russ. Remember this, and they came back on them. Remember they had Steven Adams, so Steven Adams is the one sitting out there trying to guard, but they try to come back there and play small ball with him. It just didn't work. And then also when you sit there and look, they had to go against the Cavs, and the Cavs try to play small ball lineup with them as well. But Tristan Thompson was the guy, because Tristan Thompson was the guy that gets all the offensive rebounds. If your team can find a rhythm like Klay Thompson, like a Steph Curry, if you can find rhythm like a Kevin Durant, then you can win games. And I'm telling you, it's not going to be hard to win these games either. It might be hard if you're looking from a rebound perspective, but look at the great defense and when you have, especially like Klay Thompson, my goodness, you have a great defender, like a great two-way player like him. But the Rockets last night played defense. Anthony Davis got his shot blocked. I think LeBron got his shot blocked. They were out there playing defense. They were crashing down in the lane, even though they didn't have the size, they didn't have the length, but they still played hard. They did what they were supposed to do. And like I said, only out-rebounded by one. I think it was 36-35. Everybody was making their shots last night. You would think that you would hear like a 50-point, like somebody had 50 rebounds, and then no, that wasn't the case last night. I also think that they had 19 threes last night, was something that was definitely helpful for them. They won the game 121-111. They had the shortest NBA lineup in 50 years. And when you say something like that, like you're like, man, 50 years. Like Archie, what was that? All in the Family. What was that? Those were the days. I can't think of. It's on TV Land, but I can't think of what it's called. Oh man, it's gonna bother me. I think it's not All in the Family. Is it All in the Family? I think it's All in the Family. But man, Archie, man, he's like, man, they ain't done it in 50 years. I'm trying to tell you. The funniest thing I saw yesterday during this game, this was on TNT. They were sitting there talking about the Rockets, talking about the Lakers. Shaq was sitting there like, man, they can't do it. I'm already telling you that this style of play won't happen. They can't win. It was kind of funny to me because, of course, they went out there and won last night. So that was kind of funny. And if you want to look how well the Rockets players played last night, 19 of 42 from three. They held the Lakers under 50 points in the second half. So great defense, like I was telling you. Mike D'Antoni, known for the great coaching mind. The Lakers' three-point percentage, 29%, 9 of 31. Please play my man Quinn Cook because you guys are starting to look real bad. You didn't get the Marcus Morris trade. You didn't make any trade for that matter. I don't know if Darren Collison's coming to you. He was at the Laker game last night, but I don't know if he's going to you. We don't know what J.R. Smith doing. J.R. Smith does J.R. Smith's thing, man. His eyes are probably squinted somewhere. He's just looking like, are those the Lakers or are those the Clippers? I don't know. We don't know what J.R. Smith is doing. But like I said, the Rockets competed on the glass. 37 rebounds last night to the Lakers 38. They competed on the glass. If you want to look at individual stats, Russell Westbrook, I told you, couldn't be stopped. 41 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. James Harden, third lowest game of the season, 14 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. At least he was passing the ball, trying to get his other teams, into the game. Harden sat out like a good amount of the fourth quarter. I thought it was kind of weird, but the team did not suffer whatsoever. Newly acquired Robert Covington, man. The Rockets are trying to get Robert Covington all year. They've been trying to get Rocco all year long. And when they get him, what does he do? He comes in, he produces 14 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. If I said that too fast for you, let me say it again because he's a stat sheet stuffer of the night. 14 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. My man was all over the place. He couldn't be stopped. Russell Westbrook became the third person in NBA history to reach 20,000 points, 7,000 assists, and 6,000 rebounds. The only other 2 players in NBA history that have done that, Oscar Robertson, LeBron James. Rockets' next 5 games coming up. They're at the Suns. That's tonight. DeAndre Ayton. They got the Jazz, Rudy Gobert. Can they space out Rudy Gobert? Can they make Rudy Gobert become a perimeter defender? Also, they got Daniel Tyson and Enes Kanter playing the Celtics. Then they'll be at the Warriors playing Marquise Chris and Kevon Looney, but that's kind of a small ball lineup too. So 2 small ball lineups going against each other, and then they'll be back at the Jazz. So that's gonna be they got some bigs to play, but we're gonna see how they play. That's the important thing. We're gonna see how they play. And so something else that happened on TNT yesterday. My goodness, man, I'm telling you, Chuck is sitting there talking about the 76ers. And it was just so hilarious to me because he was like, man, they're bums. He's like, these owners, these executives, these GMs want to go out here and sign these players. They don't know how to play basketball. They don't know what they're doing. They go out here. He's like, I don't care if you guys have a problem in the locker room. I don't care if Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons don't like each other. Yeah, they go out there and put it behind each other and go out there and play some basketball. Joel Embiid, we're not telling you to do this, telling you to do that. But you need to go out there and be aggressive. They start talking about Kenny Smith on the Rockets, and he going against Joel Embiid, how Joel Embiid looks so foolish trying to shoot the ball over 6'2" guys. And he was like, he called them bums. And then, of course, Shaq just makes everything funny because Shaq says, because they put a picture of a Denzel Valentine, Michigan State boy, put up a picture of Denzel Valentine, and they did not know who he was. And then Shaq says, man, I don't know who that is. I don't pay attention to bums. So then I'm just like, man, they're going to call everybody a bum on this show tonight. But so my second question of the day that we're about to roll into, can anyone contend with the new look Clippers? And this is a big question for me because, of course, the Rockets are going to small ball now. Can the Rockets still contend for a title? I don't think so. But if they're hitting shots the way they were hitting shots last night, maybe. But can anybody contend with them? Now let's look at the starting 5 for them. Number 1, Pat Bev. Number 2, Paul George. Number 3, Kawhi Leonard. Number 4, we have Marcus Morris, the newly acquired power forward, small forward, whichever he wants to be. And then number 5, we have Ivan Zubac, who came from the Lakers 2 years ago. And then you're like, okay, that's a great starting 5. They have some great scoring. Who's coming off the bench? Remember, the bench just the other night played the Miami Heat, and what did they do? 61 points, over 30 points in the third quarter. That's what they did the other night, and now they have more ammo. So now going to the bench, Lou Williams, Landry Shamet. You have Rodney McGruder. Also, your 4 and your 5, you can whatever you want to do with your 4 and 5. It could be Montrezl Harrell and Patrick Patterson. You want JaMychal Green and Patrick Patterson. You want JaMychal Green and Montrezl Harrell. Whatever you want to do, those 3 you can mix it up. You can legitimately put a whole other 5 out there on the floor. Montrezl Harrell produces. Lou Williams produces. Landry Shamet, they refused to trade him because this kid produced. He had 24 in that game. This team is too stacked. It's way too stacked. And then, of course, the Clippers, they got Isaiah Thomas. They waived him. And now the Clippers have 2, not just 1. They have 2 roster spots open. And that means they can go out and sign anybody. So what if they sign Darren Collison or J.R. Smith? What happens then? Now, I'm assuming Rodney McGruder, I assume he's going to be the odd man. I'm not going to go to the reserves, but I'm just saying, they have 2 open spots. This team could be one of the best teams in NBA history. And the only reason why they're not, and the only reason they're playing so at a low level, they keep trying to switch things up. Doc Rivers, I swear to you that Doc Rivers is playing around right now. Paul George, you can sit out this game. Kawhi, you can sit out this game. Oh, Pat Bev, you got the flu. Go ahead and sit out. At times, no Kawhi. It was like 4 or 5 games. No Kawhi, no Paul George, no Pat Bev. Guys go out there and ball. They get a win. Oh, they lose against the Hawks. It's like Doc Rivers is playing around. He's not even taking this seriously right now. And then we just saw how it looked with the Miami Heat almost getting blown out. Well, not almost blown out, but you could tell there was a difference. Not in the first half, but the second half, you could tell there was a difference. And I'm just like, I don't know. And then let's not forget Deion Waiters is getting bought up by the Memphis Grizzlies, so he's out there as well. And like I said, J.R. Smith, Darren Collison, they let Isaiah Thomas go, so he's out there as well if they want to go back out and get him. So, but the question is, going back to the question, can anyone out there stop the new look Clippers? And I have 3 teams for you. Number 3, and everybody might not, number 2 and number 1 should be kind of obvious, but number 3 is the one that you're not going to be able to guess. The Toronto Raptors. And why I said the Toronto Raptors? They're playing absolutely great basketball right now. They've already played the Clippers twice this season, unfortunately. So we're not going to get to see them again. Play that game. They played them like early in the season, like December 11th and early November. So we're not going to unfortunately get to see them again. The Raptors only lost 3 games so far in 2020, and they have not lost any game by double digits. They don't necessarily even have a star on the team. Pascal Siakam, I wouldn't even necessarily call him a star. He doesn't scream star to me. He doesn't scream leader of the team. I still think that's Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry's been playing good. They've been playing good offensively, been very efficient, very, very efficient on the defensive end as well. One of the best defensive teams in the Eastern Conference, let alone the NBA. The only thing that makes me wonder about this team is the slight problem what the Clippers have, or what the Raptors have, when the Clippers will say, you know what, this team's not that big. They do have Kyle Lowry in right now. They do have Fred VanVleet in right now. Pascal Siakam's in there too. What can we do? Well, we can go and play. We can you can have like smaller guys come in. Even though Marcus Gasol's kind of, he's kind of good, kind of low. He's a little mobile around that perimeter defensive line. He's a little mobile around the perimeter D. But my thing is, when you see Kyle Lowry going against Paul George, you got Fred VanVleet going against Kawhi Leonard, Pascal Siakam going against Marcus Morris. Now I have questions. Now I'm worried about the Raptors. This is the only way that I even see them having flaws. But Norman Powell going against Patrick Beverley. It sounds like a great defensive matchup. It sounds like a great defensive game. Like, it sounds like if you like defense and you want defensive basketball, this sounds perfect. It sounds perfect for you, and I'd love to see it. And I'd love to see how, especially like I told you, the way the Raptors are playing right now, the Raptors are absolutely killing it right now. But with somebody on the floor at least 6'6" or higher for the whole roster, for the Clippers, do the Raptors suffer? And I think they would. So that's why they're number 3. It would be a little higher if they had some more height on the team, but I don't know. Number 2, again, 2 and 1 are kind of obvious. The Los Angeles Lakers. And there's a reason why they're not number 1. And if you want to look at why they're not number 1, go look at the game last night. That's why they're not number 1. JaVale McGee, 4 points. Kuzma, 4 points. Pope, 4 points. Rondo, 2 points. Dwight Howard, 5 points. And they couldn't get Marcus Morris, so that was a big problem. They can't get Marcus Morris, they need more scoring. LeBron James is going to have to do a lot. Anthony Davis is going to have to do a lot. But the reason why they're number 2 on my list is because LeBron and AD, they automatically make you contend. You're an automatic contender the way these two play. LeBron's almost been trying to do a Russell Westbrook impersonation, getting a triple-double every single night. LeBron's been phenomenal. And I think he had 15 or 13 assists last night. He wasn't scoring too much. He only had 1 3-pointer, which came with like a minute some change left in the second quarter. The only 3 hit of the whole night. But, with those 2 on the team, LeBron and AD, they can contend for anything. They automatically contend for a title. So they're automatically number 2 on the list. And the biggest thing here for me, can you get Darren Collison or get J.R. Smith? But the biggest thing, DeMarcus Cousins. If DeMarcus Cousins can come back and DeMarcus Cousins can shoot that ball. Now, when he came back with the Warriors, he didn't look like the DeMarcus Cousins we saw in New Orleans. I need to see that DeMarcus Cousins. That DeMarcus Cousins was 30 and 19, 30 and 17 tonight. That was that DeMarcus Cousins. I need that DeMarcus Cousins to come back with this Lakers squad. If he can't come back, the Lakers don't have a chance, in my opinion. The only team that has the chance is the number 1 squad. And something else I need to do, when you have Quinn Cook, man. Quinn Cook, it's been highly upsetting for me. He leaves the Warriors. He goes a little further down the road, goes down to the Lakers, goes to Staples Center. And I'm like, he scored 22 points against the Magic on, I think it was the January 15th, scored 22 points. And since then, he's averaged less than 5 minutes a game. And he had 23 minutes or 25, or I think it was over 30 minutes in that game, 22 points. He's averaged less than 5 minutes since then. He's taken less than 3 attempts or 5 attempts a game since then. And I'm like, okay, so he does great. You see him You see him like playing at a high level in that game. The Magic are nobody to bat your eye. They don't typically allow people to score big points and big numbers. But come on now, I'm like, if somebody plays good, Frank Vogel, I'm expecting you to be like, you know what? Let me see if I can add him into the rotation a little bit. Let me see what else he can do. And he actually went on a span where he had over 10 points every game. Well, like he had 10 points. I think it was like 3 or 5 games in a row. He had over 10 points or around the 10-point mark. And now it's just like he's not even playing. I need to see him in the game. I need to see Frank Vogel try to use him. Or, you know, I don't know. I need to see a different rotation from the Lakers. Because last night, I'm like, you can't be, if they're going to put small ball on the floor, get some small ball shooters. Because everybody wasn't knocking down the threes last night. Surprisingly, not even surprisingly, Alex Caruso, he looked great last night. He was knocking down some big shots off some big assists from LeBron James. But I just think Quinn Cook needs to get some minutes. My number 1 team, Milwaukee Bucks. And we can go back to Teach Me How to Dougie. He's like, I got Milwaukee Bucks. And that's why they're my number 1 team. And no, that's not why they're my number 1 team. But 44-7, they played great last night against the 76ers. Giannis showed his dominance. Pat Connaughton played great. Pat Connaughton's jumping out the gym. Eric Bledsoe's playing great. Chris Middleton, everybody's playing great. DiVincenzo's playing great. We saw DiVincenzo got a block on Joel Embiid, I believe. And they're the best defensive team in the league. If you look at their positioning, for each starter for the Bucks, 1 through 15 at their position, everybody's in the top 1 through 15. Everybody. I think they're in the top 10, matter of fact. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm like the best defensive team in the NBA, and there's something else me and my friend Maker were talking about as like yesterday as well. He was like, man, I was telling him about how, you know, the Magic's defense is good. They don't really allow too many points, but he was like, come on, man. People just play bad against the Magic because it's the Orlando Magic, but the Bucks are the best defensive team in the league. He was like, I was like, man, I still like the Magic though. He was like, let's go against Bucks versus Magic. Let's see who wins. I'm like, nah, that sounds like a wash. I ain't doing all that. But only if they're able to combat points in the points off turnovers, I can see the Bucks winning. They need to combat points off of turnovers. They need to be in the assist game. Giannis getting a jump shot definitely helps them. They need to win fast break points, and they need to somehow figure out a way to slow down that Clippers bench. If they can do all of that, I think that they can. Win in a 7-game series, or for that matter, beat the Clippers. And Mako was saying the same. My friend Mako said the same thing. He was like, the Bucks can beat the Clippers. I think so. But I was like, man, the Clippers got some firepower. I would like to get Mako on the show, man. Y'all need to beat Mako. Mako, he has some very good opinions. And me and him, a lot of the times, go opposite on things. We also done sports bets, which I haven't won. I won a couple of them, but I still owe the money at the end of it. We did like 11 bets or 12 bets before 2 years ago NBA season. I did owe money at the end of it, but I had bet that the Rockets would get to the finals and the Celtics would get to the finals and play each other. But of course, the Warriors end up beating the Rockets in the Western Conference Finals, and then the Cavs ended up beating the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. So I was close. I called that before the season even started, but I was so close. It was like game 7s, both sides, and I just missed them both. And I was so upset. I would have been owed money if that would have happened. So I almost won that bet, but I keep saying close, but no cigar. But Giannis, the fact that Giannis has a jump shot now, we can go back to last year when they played Toronto in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's what stopped them from being great. Giannis not having a jump shot. That's what stopped them from being great. Kept trying to drive on Kawhi Leonard. No, that's not going to happen. Let's not forget about, I think it was game 3, only 12 points in the Eastern Conference Finals. You can't do that when you're Giannis. I think he had 20 rebounds too, but 12 points. That's not too good. Only one game, I think he had 31 points. I think it was game 1 or game 2. But I think game 1 or game 2 he had 31 points. But other than that, every game in the Eastern Conference Finals, 25 points or less. That's not Giannis. And Giannis, the fact that he has the jump shot now, you got to keep the defense honest. The defense has to sit there and be like, I wonder if he can knock down this jump shot. Joel Embiid saw last night that he was going to knock down a jump shot because he gave him some space. Giannis took the shot, knocked it down. So that's a big key factor right now, is that Giannis has a jump shot. The roster hasn't changed too much. It looks pretty much the same as last year. They're on a roll right now. The 76ers clearly are not. They got big problems going on. But the Bucks, they're clearly rolling right now. And I just need the Bucks to get Giannis. Giannis needs to be consistent. If he's consistent, he's able to hit that jump shot with ease, and he's able to hit that jump shot on a regular basis. I honestly believe that the Bucks have a good chance at beating the Clippers. If he can't hit that jump shot when he needs to hit it, The Clippers are going to wash them. And the reason why they're going to wash them, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris, Pat Bev, Lou Will, Andrew Shamet. I'm trying to tell you, they have shooters on deck. Just like they have shooters on deck, the Clippers have more shooters on deck. So they need to make sure they're playing up to par. Some honorable mentions that I'm not going to get into. I'm just going to mention the team. The Celtics, honorable mention. I like the guard play. I like the bench play. I also like the defense, and they have great coaching in Brad Stevens. The Miami Heat, they can score at any position. Bam, they got Bam, Jimmy, Duncan Robinson, Kendrick Nunn. They can score at any position. And now they got Andre Iguodala going down there as well. They also get Jay Crowder. They have more scoring ammunition. So I like the team. Defense, great coaching for Eric Spoelstra. And the Mavericks, surprisingly enough, the Mavericks almost made my list. Scoring, defense, stellar coaching, Rick Carlisle, and you got to stop the man, Luka Doncic. So now we're going to go into some NCAA games that happened yesterday. Not going to go too far. Like we usually go a little into NCAA basketball. Not going to go too far into it today. But men's number 24 Colorado, they get a win over Stanford yesterday, 71-65 behind Tyler Bay's season high 21 points, 10 rebounds. Of his 21 points, 13 of them came in the second half. He grabbed his 8th double-double of the season. Coach Tad Boyle said, "Not the prettiest win. It reminded me of wins we had this November and December when we kind of just worked. Not very good, but we found a way." So good win for Colorado and Coach Tad Boyle. Number 13, Maryland, the ladies, they grab a win over number 18, Indiana. We were talking about this. Patberg, Penn, Berger, we got to stop them. Didn't stop them too much. Penn still had a good game, but somebody had to have a good game out of that trio. The second win for Maryland over Indiana this season. Kayla Charles, 21 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists. Ashley Owusu, this girl is phenomenal. This girl comes off the bench and gives us so much production. What did she do last night? 19 points, 5 assists, and 3 rebounds. And like I said, off the bench, Maryland shot 64% in the second half while holding the Hoosiers to 42% in the second half. Something that messed up Indiana was going 13 of 21 from the free throw line, which would have been an additional 8 points, would have been a 2-point differential, which also would have probably changed the whole aspect of the game. And Maryland kept Grace Berger, something else that was huge, kept Grace Berger off the line. They kept Indiana pretty much off the line the whole game. I think they went 2 for 9 or 4 for 9 from the three-point line. Kept them off the three-point line, which was definitely something big for us. So I'm happy we did. Grace Berger only took 1 3-pointer. Oh, they went 2 for 7 from 3 the whole game. So that was my coverage from last night. And to go into some things that happened tonight, it's going to happen tonight. Number 9, Maryland playing number 20, Illinois. Matchup predictor has Illinois winning 56%. They have a 56.7% chance of winning. Jalen Smith versus Kofi Cockburn. This is going to be another big battle. The last time these two teams played, Kofi didn't have that good of a game. And also their point guard, Dazunumu. He didn't have a good game either. They both averaged like 13, 15 points a game, but they didn't have a good game last time they played Maryland. Jalen Smith had a good game. He had 13 points and 14 rebounds last time they played. He's averaging 15.9 points on the road right now. 45.8% from 3, 9 rebounds. He does all that on the road. If Maryland can play like this and they can do good things on the road today, we should be able to get a win. And of course, I can't forget about my man Anthony Coleman Jr. The man's been saving us. The last time we played Illinois, he saved us. So hopefully we don't need saving this time. It was a low-scoring game last time. Hopefully we don't need saving. We definitely need to keep Dasumudu and Kofi. Need to keep that energy level the same way it was last time. Not too big, not too small. Only 18 points with them combined. I also need Aaron Wiggins and Daryl Marcel to hit their big shots tonight, because there's going to be big shots taken. Marcel and Wiggins also, I need them to do their part. The biggest part I need is Anthony Collins Jr. He's the biggest thing I need tonight. Women's side, Memphis at number 4, UConn. Will Crystal Dangerfield be the only person scoring for the UConn Huskies? Like, remember, they just played number 3 Oregon. Crystal Dangerfield was the only one scoring. Sabrina was doing good. Sabali was doing good. And I forgot the other girl. What was her name? I can't remember her name. Ruthie Hubbard. I think it was, Ruthie Hubbard. Phenomenal game for her yesterday. It was Hubbard, Sabali, and Nisku who led the charge in the win over UConn. But Crystal Dangerfield was playing pretty good, and I think she had 25, 21 points last game. So is she going to be the only one scoring tonight against Memphis? Hopefully not. That game's at 7 o'clock on ESPN3. Number 14, DePaul at St. John's. Both teams coming off wins. Sonya Morris just went off for 21 points in her last game against Providence. Lexi held 18 points and 7 rebounds. Both of those players have played for DePaul. But what you have to watch out for is the stellar play and the all-around game of Kelly Campbell. Last game against Providence, she had a triple-double. And you have to just watch out for her because the last time these two teams played, I think she had 8 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists. But we'll see if Deja Church and Sonya Morris can team up and get another double-double against St. John's again, or we see Kadeja Hopi and Alyssa Austin step up and stop number 14 DePaul. That game's at 7 o'clock as well. Didn't have a channel, unfortunately. I kind of want to see that game. The way I was writing it up, and I was reading all the stats, and I'm just looking at the players and watching them play. And I was like, oh my gosh, now I think I want to watch this game. But another game, this is at 9 o'clock. Number 12 Arizona versus number 3 Oregon. And remember, number 12 Arizona has that girl Erin McDonald. She's phenomenal. That girl can dribble. She can shoot. She looks like Crystal Dangerfield a little bit. The way that the style of game they play. But my goodness, like it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something to see in the Pac-12 tonight. The Pac-12 got some big games. Arizona State's playing number 19. Arizona State's playing number 9. Oregon State. Number 10 UCLA's playing number 6 Stanford. There's some big games going on in the Pac-12. But the time for Oregon to resume their test against Arizona, they played and knocked off UConn last week. But, you know, Erin McDonald, like I said, she's phenomenal. The last time these two teams played, 25 points, 5 3-pointers, 5 rebounds. She's definitely going to need some help from her team in order to get this win. The last game for Oregon, like I said, UConn, Ruthie Hubbard, Sabali both go off. Both had double-doubles. And the last 2 times these teams played in early January, Oregon's big 3 rose up, but can they rise again? Or will Erin McDonald get some help tonight, and will Arizona get the win? That's something we're going to have to see. Last but not least, where am I at? I feel like almost every single podcast, I have one moment where I don't know where I'm at on the paper scale. And right now we're going through that moment yet again. Okay, here we go. Top NBA games tonight. We got Grizzlies and the Sixers. Exciting things to see because, you know, Justice Winslow is going to be implemented with the Grizzlies. We also got Hawks versus Celtics. Clint Capella sighting. Raptors versus the Pacers. That's 8 o'clock on ESPN. I just talked up the Raptors, so y'all better not go out there and lose. Please don't do that. Like I talked up the kid out of Seton Hall, and then all of a sudden went out there and had one of those worst games of the season. Don't do that. Yeah, Powell. And then Blazers at Jazz, 10:30 ESPN. It's Blaze time. It's Dame time. We're going to see what the Blazers can do against Utah tonight. And my top 5 news stories. The Browns get 49ers secondary coach Joe Woods as a defensive coordinator. The DL coach, and they bring over the DL coach Chris Kiffin. That's absolutely huge because we saw what the defensive line was doing for the 49ers this season. Will the Browns have the same success, or will the Browns improve on that defensive line? Myles Garrett at one point was the only one really doing anything on the defensive line. Will Olivia Vernon, will he, spruce up, get a little younger on that defensive line, getting Kiffin in there? We're going to have to see. I'm excited to see what the Browns are going to do, especially bringing in Joe Woods. Number 4 on my list, the crowd waiting for D'Lo at the airport last night in Minnesota. He came in late. There was a big crowd, surprisingly enough, and D'Lo's just like, he was recording the whole thing. I was like, man, Minnesota, y'all must have some great fans out there. And the fact that they've been losing all of these games, and they still had that big crowd out there waiting for D'Lo. Cat was out there waiting for him too. Minnesota staff, I was like, man, that is something to see. Minnesota Timberwolves, y'all got some great fans out there. Number 3, free agent Darren Collison, like I said, at the Lakers game. So is that a sign that Darren Collison's thinking about choosing the Lakers? I hope he don't choose. Maybe he was in the building to talk to Jerry West and the Clippers organization. Who knows who is there to talk to or to see, but he was in the building last night. Number 2, the XFL starts tomorrow. Come on, DC Defenders. We got to do a little something. And we're already a prime candidate to win the championship. We got Cardell Jones. Remember, he played for the Buffalo Bills. He played for Seattle Seahawks. And he was in the NFL for not a good minute, but he was in the NFL for a brief moment of time. He was an Ohio State quarterback. We have a head coach, Pep Hamilton, who coached in the NFL from 2013 to 2016. Last coaching job was the assistant head coach at Michigan 2017, 2018, and now he'd be the head coach of the DC Defenders in the XFL. So that'd be exciting to see. Some XFL rules. There's a couple we're going to go over that's a little different. There's no extra points. You get 2 yards. After a touchdown, you do a 2-yard extra point, a 5-yard extra point, which a 2-yard play, and it's successful, it's 1 point. 5-yard play, you get 2 points, and they have a 10-yard play for 3 points. That's kind of exciting. We'll see what happens. You can get potentially 9 points on a drive. 2 forward passes, probably my favorite thing that I saw. So the quarterback can legitimately be running around as long as it's behind the line of scrimmage. This is probably going to be my favorite thing to see and how people implement this into their offense. But 2 forward passes, this is like I would legitimately be running. Like I would have like somebody run 15 yards back and throw the ball forward right before the line, and then have somebody sprint. I don't know what they're gonna do, but this is gonna be exciting to see. That's probably my favorite rule by far. The 25-second play clock, so it's gonna be a lot faster pace. And it sounds like a 5-on flag. Well, 25-second play clock sounds like a 5-on-5 flag team that I can't make because I'm never that much in shape to make a flag team like that. I can always play when it's like 9-on-9 and 7-on-7. I can play those, but 5-on-5 and the real skinny guys be out there, the wide receiver and corner be running. That's not my forte. I'm a running back. I can play, give you a little linebacker, but that's all I can give you. And last but not least, a clear definition of what a catch is, and it doesn't have to be 2 feet. All it has to be is a body part coming down inbounds and the guy controlling the catch. That's it. So we have a clear definition of what a catch is. In the NFL, we still don't know what it is, but in the XFL, we know. So that's something kind of huge. But like I said, my best and favorite rule, the 2 forward passes. I can't wait to see what happens. It sounds so exciting. And last but not least, my number 1 news story of the day. They're going to have Kobe and Giannis, Gigi, their memorial service on 2/24, which is February 20th. And then, that was kind of classy the way they did it, 2/24, because Gianna wore number 2, Kobe wore number 24. And that's going to be February 24th. So I'm pretty sure we'll all be sitting there on TV watching that. But everybody, that's all I got for you today. I'm probably going to see you tomorrow. I was trying to think, am I going to take a break tomorrow? I'm not sure. I want to tell you about some upcoming things I potentially got going on. Potentially going to have some people coming on next week. Sports guy Chris and Ravens Insider, they're both going to be coming back on with Sports guy Chris be his first time coming, but Ravens Insider, we had him come on and we were talking about the Ravens. I actually want to talk about the Ravens again, especially after everything that just happened this season. I want to talk about what the plans going into the off season and what he thinks the team needs to do. Also, I want to get the guy from the Electrified podcast. His name is Eric. I want to get him. That's one of the podcasts I was listening to today. Very good show. If you haven't listened to his show, definitely go listen to it. And last but not least, I wanted to, like I told you, one of my podcasts I've been listening to out of Indiana, Balls Don't Lie, Regular Steven and Anton Anton. I want to get one of them or both of them on at the same time if possible. Now I was like, man, maybe one day we can all just, the Instagram community for sports podcasts. It seems like it's growing a little bit. I like the feel I'm feeling from it. So just trying to reach out and try to get some people on the show, get some different perspectives. It's always just me on here, so I know everybody wants to hear some different perspective and hear me, going back and forth with somebody else. So everybody, thank you for joining me on another episode of Sports Outside the Box. Keep that Mamba mentality, and more than likely, I will see you tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.